All right. So yeah, let's talk a little bit about GenWealth and the only proposal we have here for this fund. Well, basically, as you might know, we are working in inheritance and recovery here on Cardano, but the old inheritance industry, the real world inheritance industry, actually has huge problems and inefficiencies. And it's interesting to see that blockchain could solve many of those problems. And what we'd like to do with this proposal is put GenWealth and Cardano as a good solution for the problems. And here you can see some examples of these problems that are related with the very high costs in terms of managing estates, because it's currently a super manual process to manage an inheritance. They do invest a lot of resources and a lot of time. And because of that, it's common to have delays. So the user experience is really bad. And we've been talking to inheritance firms. We've showed them that the app we're building, what it can do. And they were, it was a very positive reaction about our solution. It would make the process of locating, managing, and distributing assets much easier for these companies. So it would decrease their costs and increase productivity, which is what every company wants, right? If you think about it. But of course, not everything is perfect. They still had some requirements for what we need to build for them to be able to use us. And they would need a process, an easier process to get data from the app and to evaluate the assets stored there. And they would also need an easy way to comply with inheritance law in any legislation. And to try to solve that problem, considering those functional requirements we got from these companies, we are creating this proposal to build an inheritance compliance calculator that was going to be extremely useful for these companies, but also for us as individuals, because you as an individual will have access to it. And you can also comply with legislation for yourself without having to require to companies. And how it works is really simple. It gets the data from the app. You're able to value the assets. You can see the distribution divided per heirs to make sure that everything is right. Consider taxes. You can simulate transactions to see what you can change and how you can move around with your assets while being compliant. And you can also take into account other assets. But basically, summing up with these features, you can ensure compliance in any legislation. And why go through all of this work just for inheritance companies and for an MVP? Well, this is basically because this industry is huge. It manages trillions of dollars and in assets. And our goal is to have those assets being tokenized and managed in Cardano. And developing this solution, this inheritance calculator will be the first step. We'll open the door for an MVP with some of the companies we are talking with. And this will allow us to further improve and hopefully expand in the industry. And our long-term vision is to offer a complete solution to manage inheritance on Cardano. And you have GenWealth, the app to manage the assets and to make the distribution. You'll have this calculator to evaluate the assets and ensure compliance. And then we're also talking with firms on Cardano like Finance, Danglios that do tokenization of assets to create a simple way for these firms to tokenize assets. And that's the idea, is for them to tokenize them, to manage in the app, because they are incentivized to do so due to the benefits for their own productivity. And that's what GenWealth is all about. We are trying to build here solutions that empower users, empower industries. We've been having some great progress with the crypto inheritance and recovery, the app. We were actually able to launch it on testnet and have some private testing, especially with a lot of these companies, which has been like super insightful. And we are getting a lot of feedback on how to improve. And on the right side, you see some of the principles that the app follows and that we believe in. And with this proposal, we are actually able to deliver the full solution for the inheritance compliance calculator. And then we are able to have the technology for the MVP. As for the team, I'm the CEO of GenWealth, working on startups for 6 years and managing teams, also in Cardano since 2020, contributing to deep funding, Project Catalyst, and also trying to contribute for overall education about blockchain in Cardano with my YouTube channel. And then we have our CTO, Ariadi, very experienced in development, 14 years, also a lot of fintech, and 2.5 years as a Cardano full stack developer. He created our contracts and some other contracts as well, but he's also an instructor for new developers on Emergo. And that will be bringing as well Dimitri, which is a very experienced developer on Cardano and Ergo. But yeah, if you believe this is important, just search for inheritance or GenWealth and please vote. Thank you so much.